So I know that there are certainly a lot of people out there who happen to be a fan of the Bad Boy franchise by Carolina Herrera. What we have here today in front of us is the brand new installment to this series. This one is called Bad Boy Extreme. I'm excited to give you my thoughts on this brand new release, so make sure to stay tuned. Before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on the brand new Bad Boy Extreme by Carolina Herrera, and I tell you my thoughts on it regarding the notes, the performance, longevity, comparison, so on and so forth, I do want to start things off by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Hit the bell icon and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It would really mean a lot to me. Now, this was actually a three-way collaboration among perfumers Louise Turner, Jan Vosnier, and Kenton Biche. Kenton Biche has also done Good Girl by Carolina Herrera, or I should say the one flanker of it that smells a lot like Delina by Parfum de Marly. He's also done Parfum de Marly's Delina. And so here we have three very accomplished perfumers who got together to create this particular fragrance. Now, this one does have that note of cocoa in there, and that's a note that I also pick up on the original. So with that taken into consideration, this is a true flanker in the sense that, yeah, it will remind you of the original to a certain degree, but here you have the addition of some incensey ingredients. You do have olibanum, which is frankincense. You have a popinax, which is sweet myrrh. You also have a little bit of labdanum and some other rich resinous balsamic ingredients. All in all, this seems like a dark yet sweet take on the original. I'm really excited to give you my thoughts on the smell. Let's take a quick look at the presentation. Right in the opening of this fragrance, the first thing that you'll notice is that chocolate aroma. And again, this is something that kind of unifies it with the original. The one thing that the original is quite well known for is that cocoa vibe that it gives across. And this one inherently contains that as well. So there is that unity, and I appreciate it for that reason. It's a true flanker. However, this one gets dark. Now, dark not in the sense that it smells smoky or overly woodsy or leathery or spicy or anything like that, but it has like this warm, sensual amber dry down. And I feel like when you combine all of these ambery ingredients with that cocoa that's in here, the effect that it achieves is really nice. Now, of course, this isn't something that you would know about the fragrance just by looking at it, because they had a few dark presentations. I know there was the extreme version, then there were some other flankers, of course. But here we have what is undoubtedly the darkest of them all. It has that amber accord in the base, but it's not an amber that's too heavy on the vanilla, which I think is a good thing, right? There's actually a lot of patchouli in here. There's, I think, also a touch of vetiver. So you do have these earthy ingredients alongside the incense. And funny enough, when you smell it on the test strip, you're getting a lot of that cocoa, that chocolatey vibe that's very decadent, very delicious. But in the air, the several times that I've worn this, I'm actually picking up on the incense. And at times, I was getting a little bit of that lemony pine aroma that people typically associate with frankincense. So I was like, oh wow, like there's actually something quite earthy about this. And then, you know, you look at the note breakdown, you see the Indonesian patchouli and the vetiver and all that stuff, and you're like, oh, okay, this makes a lot of sense that there would be something else that's green in here. And I do feel like those green qualities work really well hand in hand with some of the other darker balsamic ingredients, most notably the apopinax, the labdanum, both of which can be a little bit on the sweet side of things. And I feel like that sweetness is also a complement to bridge another gap. It's also a complement to the cocoa that's in here as well. This fragrance, in my opinion, because it's all subjective, this fragrance is phenomenal. This is the best one yet. I wore this casually. I wore this when I went to the mall with my wife last weekend. I wore this to work 3 times. I went into Manhattan last Saturday. I happened to be wearing this one. It cut through the cold. The performance is amazing. I wasn't a fan of some of the other flankers. I particularly didn't care too much about the one that smells like cannabis, just because it's so hard to wear, kind of hard to pull off, not the type of vibe that I would recommend to everybody. You might get pulled over by the cops wearing it. This one, on the other hand, is sublime. I love this one. One of the better releases. I bought the new YSLY, whatever it is, I forget, all these designations and flankers, and they all happen to share the same name. But I bought the new YSLY flanker. I bought the new Valentino Born in Roma flanker. I think it's the intense version. This is by far, in my opinion, the most interesting and the most unique of the three. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, it does smell quite similar to the original, but a lot darker, a lot richer, a lot more robust. I love this one. Overall smell, it's not dark in the way of it being spicy or woodsy or smoky, so it's still very easy to pull off, and I love it for that reason. In terms of the longevity, 10 hours on my skin, it did so well. The projection was great for the first hour. It radiated just a little bit beyond an arm's length, not a crazy amount. It became an elbow's length scent right around hour 5.5 or 6, a skin scent right around hour 10, which is amazing. For a fragrance with extreme in the name, you expect the performance to be a bit above average, right? In terms of the versatility, it is a bit masculine leaning in a traditional sense. Great for a night out, great for the colder weather. Anybody of any age can enjoy this one. Somebody who's a bit more on the youthful side of things because of the sweetness, somebody who's a bit older because of the green ingredients, the incense, and the resinous ingredients as well. In terms of the presentation, of course, a lot of people have said that this whole thunderbolt thing, or lightning bolt, pardon me, looks a bit kitschy, but I actually do like it with the gold accents, and it has a really nice fade on it. My final verdict on this fragrance is, I think it's the best that the brand has put out so far in terms of bad boy flankers. It is amazing. It is sublime. I'm a huge fan of it. And I would posit the theory that this one is going to do very, very well for the brand. At least I certainly hope it does, because it's worth checking out. And of the 5 or 6 designer fragrances that I purchased already this year, this is the best one by far. I look forward to doing a list eventually, maybe in another couple of months. But thank you so much for joining me today. That was my review of the brand new Bad Boy Extreme. If you own or have tried this fragrance, let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Hit the bell icon so you could be notified whenever I do upload future videos to the channel, and I upload on a daily basis. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.